Hi, and welcome to IPM Leap. If you aspire to be in an IIM right after 12th, you are at the right place. IPM Leap, with its years of experience of teaching plus 2 students for entrance exams, brings you a host of preparatory resources both on our YouTube channel and on our website. Today's lesson is on idioms and phrases. It's a topic that has featured regularly in IPMAT exams, so we will be covering it comprehensively over the next few videos. Let's begin.
First, let's discuss what the term idiom means. An idiom is nothing but a phrase or a group of words which is used as a saying in spoken and written English. It conveys some meaning to the listener or the reader. Let's take for example the phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs." There could be two types of meanings for such a phrase. The first is the literal meaning, which is the meaning when we consider the meanings of original words exactly and closely. Literally, our example phrase would mean that dogs and cats are falling down from the sky, which we know is not possible. So phrases are not always meant to be taken literally. Sometimes the speaker or reader intends to create a special effect by using the more imaginative meaning associated with that phrase, which is known as the figurative meaning. The phrase, "It's raining cats and dogs," equates the size and volume of raindrops to cats and dogs. So the figurative meaning associated with the phrase is simply, "It's raining heavily." For idioms, it is the figurative meaning that is more important and more tricky to grasp. Sometimes the use of an idiom might leave the reader or listener totally confused in written and spoken conversations if he or she has not seen or heard the idiom earlier.
So that you may bookmark and cover the idioms at your own pace, we have divided the entire content of common idioms and phrases into lessons covering 10 idioms each. In lesson 1, we shall cover the following 10 idioms as you can observe on your screen.
Our first idiom is Achilles' heel. Sometimes for learning an idiom, knowing the original context or the story behind the idiom helps. Like in this case, Achilles was a famous warrior in Greek mythology whose mother had tried to make him invulnerable by dipping him in the river Styx. But the heel with which she held him was not immersed, making it his vulnerable spot. And while Achilles remained an undefeated warrior, he ultimately died because of an arrow that pierced his heel. So that is what Achilles' heel means. It means a weak or vulnerable spot of someone, a fatal flaw in someone which can even bring about his or her downfall. An example sentence for the idiom is, "Mr. Tandon was a very shrewd businessman, but his Achilles' heel was gambling, because of which he went bankrupt." Idiom number 2 is barking up the wrong tree. It's a century-old idiom that seems to come from the practice of hunting raccoons. The raccoons used to climb up a tree when they were being chased by dogs. Waiting for their huntsmen to arrive, the dogs barked up the tree where they thought a raccoon was hiding. Sometimes the raccoon escaped to adjacent trees. Thus, the dog ended up barking up an empty tree where they mistakenly thought the raccoon was hiding. So, barking up the wrong tree means to follow a false trail or to pursue the wrong line of inquiry. For example, by accusing Mr. Raj of embezzling company's funds, I think you are barking up the wrong tree, as he has been our trusted aide since the past 25 years. Idiom number 3 is to hit the nail on the head. Well, hitting the nail precisely on the head is indeed a tough task, And being exact on this job is very important because that only will drive the nail through and prevent your fingers from getting hurt. So the figurative meaning associated with this phrase is to do exactly the right thing or to be right about something. An example sentence that illustrates this meaning is, Rajiv hit the nail on the head when I asked him to estimate the number of toffees in the jar, and he said 105 without even counting. Now Rajiv here did not really try to drive a nail through. Instead, the sentence means that Rajiv estimated the number of toffees in the jar and he was exact or correct about that number. Next, we have the phrase, go break a leg. A non-native English speaker might be totally puzzled as to why someone would want such bad luck to come to him, as suggested by the literal meaning of break a leg. But going beyond the literal meaning and trying to understand the true intentions of the speaker, the listener should be aware that the phrase break a leg is a way to wish someone good luck by uttering just the opposite. It is used to wish a person who is about to embark on some important task, especially to an actor or a musician before he or she goes on stage to perform. The expression reflects a theatrical superstition in which wishing a person good luck is considered bad luck. Our fifth idiom is on tenterhooks. This phrase derives from the idea of cloth being suspended on a tenter. Now, a tenter means a frame for stretching cloth while it is drying. This device was used in earlier ages. Since the cloth was totally stretched out on the tenter, the idiom on tenterhooks means in a state of suspense or anxiety about something. For example, Ram has given an interview to a reputed MNC and is on tenterhooks about its expected result. Idiom number 6 is red herring. The phrase is used to refer to something that misleads or distracts from the relevant or important issue. The idiom derives from the fact that a red herring is a type of strong-smelling smoked fish that was once drawn across the trail of a scent to mislead hunting dogs and put them off the scent. An example sentence would be, the detectives in the novel follow a red herring for some time but later on come back to the right track. Idiom number 7 is dog in the manger. The phrase comes from one of Aesop's fables about a dog lying in a manger full of hay. When an ox tries to eat some hay, the dog bites him despite the fact that the hay is of no use to the dog. The phrase is used for someone who prevents others from enjoying what one has no use for oneself. An example would be, stop being such a dog in the manger and let your sister play with your mobile if you are not using it. Idiom number 8 is to break the ice. Now, as shown in the picture, breaking the ice paves the way forward. So the idiom means to initiate social interactions and attempt to become friends with someone. When Raj met her for the first time, he tried to break the ice, but she was a little cold. Our ninth idiom is a man of straw. This phrase alludes to a man made of straw, like perhaps a scarecrow, which in essence has no substance and is easy to defeat. So the phrase a man of straw means a man of no substance or a person who has a weak character. An example sentence would be, they call her husband a man of straw because when she was pregnant and needed his support the most, he deserted her and ran away. And our 10th idiom is a skeleton in the closet. This metaphoric term alludes to a murder victim which is long concealed in a closet and could possibly be based on some true incident that is now forgotten. So, a skeleton in a closet refers to a shameful or embarrassing secret that one wants to hide at all costs. For instance, their elder son is a drug addict who is currently in a rehab center. No wonder the family keeps it a hush affair, as they perhaps consider it to be a skeleton in their closet.
That brings us to the end of this lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. We will be publishing other lessons in this series of idioms and phrases soon, so don't forget to subscribe for notifications. Also, get the PDF of this video lesson and many more resources free on our website www.ipmlead.com. Happy learning!